What's up, everybody, and welcome to Tracking the Field, and I'm your host, Anson Henry. Drugs. Yeah, unfortunately, when you're talking about track and field, it's one of the first things that come to mind. But why? I mean, we'll get to that throughout the episode. But first, what if I told you the NBA Finals was about to happen and the Brooklyn Nets were about to be facing the Los Angeles Lakers? I'm pretty sure you'd be excited about that. But how would you feel if I told you LeBron James wasn't going to be playing? Well, the fastest man in the world, Christian Coleman, has been ruled out of the Tokyo Olympics this summer because of a whereabouts violation, resulting in a 2-year ban. A whereabouts violation? What the heck is that? I'm gonna tell you exactly what it is. But in the meantime, let me break down exactly what happened. Christian Coleman had 3 infractions of the year of 2019, the first of which was on January 26th. He claimed to have been in the weight room early in the morning and the testers got to his house and he wasn't there. But on April 26th of 2019, Coleman committed a filing failure. Basically, that means that he didn't get his whereabouts information on time of where he's gonna be over the next 3 months. Then, on December 9th, the AIU came to the conclusion that Christian Coleman missed a test and thus had his 3rd infraction. He said he was at the mall doing Christmas shopping. Apparently, the mall was only 5 minutes away. Plus, Coleman, as well as many other athletes, claim to always get a call if they're not at their location. The fastest man in the world not being at the Olympics for a missed test? The 2020 World Athletics Awards happened recently, and the male and female athletes of the year were selected. Pole vaulter Armando Duplantis was the winner on the men's side, while triple jumper Yulimar Rojas was the winner on the women's side. I got to sit in on a virtual press conference that ensued after the awards presentations. And yeah, I might have had a question or two. A lot of the questions are going to be geared around the awards, I guess, but we don't often get a chance to talk to some of these athletes. So I'd like to hear their insight on some of the current events that are going on in track and field. Obviously right now, with the whole Christian Coleman situation, I want to hear what some of the athletes, especially the best athletes, have to say about drug testing and drugs.
Mondo, we have another question from Anson Henry of CBC Sports. How comfortable are you with being in the spotlight? You seem to be the guy right now.
I try to go out there and perform well, and then the other things just come with it. So it's a little bit out of my control, but if the spotlight there, then I'll just try to be me.
One more from Anson Henry. Athletes get busy. What do you think of athletes getting phone calls or text messages from testers if and when they aren't at home during their drug testing window?
Oh gosh. That's not about my athlete of the year award. That's a different situation because it just depends. Because some people live in gated communities. I live in a gated community as well, so I literally have to get a call just to let the person in. I definitely understand that the test should be a surprise, but when the tester is there, I don't understand why the person. I don't think the call really does that much in the next. What can the person really do in the next 15 minutes? I don't know. That's a tricky subject, but.
Yo, he answered that well. So I guess in some sports, the best athletes get the best treatment, and in track and field, the best athletes are given more responsibility, especially when it comes to this whole doping issue. But who are these doping control officers? Here in Canada, the doping control organization is called the Canadian Centre of Ethics in Sport, and I was lucky enough to track down Jeremy Luke, the Senior Director of Sport Integrity at the CCES. How could I become a drug tester?
If you're interested, we have a call for opportunities at different points in time, and people put forward their name.
How long is the training?
The theoretical training takes place over about 3-4 days.
So within like 3 days, and then say within like maybe a month, I could be like a tester?
To get to level 1, I don't have the specific information in front of me, but I'm thinking a couple of months probably. You would get to a point where you're able to go out and test an athlete without someone else coming with you.
Take me through the testing process.
The doping control officer would arrive to test the athlete, and what they do when they arrive is they notify the athlete. From that point forward, the athlete stays with the doping control officer so that the doping control officer can visually monitor them until the process is done. The athlete provides a urine sample that is a witness urine sample so that the doping control officer can attest that the sample came from the individual.
And when you say properly witnessing, the person, you're seeing the private part.
You have to
see the pee coming out.
That's correct.
Right. Mostly urine tests, but sometimes blood tests.
Yes.
So how do you guys determine who gets tested?
We do a risk assessment and we determine how to allocate the number of tests that we might do in a given year across different sports and across different athletes. There's a number of different factors that are considered in determining how to select athletes.
Well, the better athletes. You're ranked higher, you know, more known, you might be making more money, that kind of stuff.
That's correct.
And say someone's not there within the window. Is it within what testers do to call them or text them to be like, yo, we're here, you're not here?
No, that's not a typical part of the approach that we take.
No?
No.
Ideally, you want to be able to take the test. So,
right.
Do you think that would be a good thing to do?
If you phone an athlete in advance and have them...
Oh, no, not in advance. I mean, like when you get there and they're not there. You guys don't do that?
No.
The time it would take for the person to get to the location, say it was 20 minutes, half an hour. You're saying that is like advance notice. That's what you're referring to as advance notice?
That's correct. I mean, that's what the rules are trying to avoid.
Right. Okay. So within that half an hour, potentially they could do something to themselves to where they can get something out of their system. That's
correct. And unfortunately, those types of things have happened in the past in anti-doping scenarios.
Oh, seriously? So, like within the half an hour? Like
no,
half an hour?
No, not with that's why the rules are set up to be no advance notice, is to avoid situations where someone knows they're going to be tested and they could try and do something in order to be able to provide a sample that is not, the sample that comes from them or something of that nature. I mean, the reality is that an athlete can be tested anytime. It's not just within the 60 minutes. The 60 minutes is used to deal with whereabouts.
So what's the penalty if the testers give false information or if it's inaccurate information?
If there was an error in the way that you're speaking to, the process could stop at that point and not go further.
There's no type of reprimanding for that? I mean, because that's serious, right? You can ruin someone's lives with this.
If there are any issues or errors or things of that nature that are identified, they can go through remedial training. So they're dealt with in that context.
All right, a lot of good information there. Thanks a lot, Jeremy. I want to mention that Jeremy contacted me after our conversation to let me know that in some cases, the CCS will call in the final 5 minutes of the 1 hour window. They don't do it all the time because it's not mandatory, but it's left up to the discretion of the anti-doping organization. Why isn't it mandatory? No calls at all for everybody, or everybody getting calls sounds a little bit more fair. There's been a lot of shade thrown in the direction of Christian Coleman during all of this. I mean, I'm not laughing at the dude. I'm just laughing at how ruthless some people are. There's also some misconceptions that are being thrown around. Let's go through some of these. Other athletes can manage it, so why can't you? Christian Coleman was tested 11 times in 2019, and that's only by USADA. It doesn't include the tests he takes when he leaves the country. And with him being tested more than 99% of the entire track world and passing, technically, we have more reason to believe that he's cleaner than the vast majority of athletes that haven't been tested as much as him. Christian, it's your job. Is it his job? Okay, well, what's this guy's job? And her job? Her? Her? Him? Him? If we're gonna say that this is the job of a track and field athlete, everybody would have to be tested the same amount to fulfill the job characteristic. Junkie cheater. Oh man, the world sucks. Let's be clear, he has a whereabouts violation, thus making him more suspicious of taking drugs. He's never failed a drug test, which leads to the next one. Marion Jones and Lance Armstrong were dirty and they still passed tests. Right, so if Christian Coleman could take tests and still pass them, why would he miss them? Because of what happened in Seoul back in 1988, sprinters, once they get to a certain level of speed, are suddenly under suspicion. These big, muscle-bound machines have some extraordinary abilities, but I see extraordinary abilities across the board in track and field. Actually, in all kinds of different sports. It's all about the music playing in the background. I went to the mall because I had to get some last-second presents for my girlfriend and my mom before the Christmas rush. Yeah, it sounds kind of phony like that. But what about if it was like this? I went to the mall because I had to get some last-second presents for my girlfriend and my mom before the Christmas rush. Still sounding kind of phony? All right, well, how about like this? I went to the mall because I had to get some last-second presents for my girlfriend and my mom before the Christmas rush. You know, I find it interesting that athletes in the big four sports, the NFL, NHL, MLB, NBA, don't get tested nearly as much as track and field athletes. Why?
I'm supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about
Testing.
I mean, listen, we talking about
Testing.
not a game. We talking about
Testing.
I know it's important. I do. I honestly do. But we talking about
Testing.
man. What are we talking about?
Yeah, it doesn't look like these rules would go over well in the big four sports.
Last two questions.
Hey, LeBron, Anson Henry, CBC Sports. Did you know that in track and field, the best athletes, the most popular athletes, the athletes that make the most money, get drug tested the most?
How do I know that?
I mean, I don't know how you would know that, but I was just wondering if you thought something like that could work in the NBA.
No,
You don't think that would be a good idea?
I said no already. I don't know the question you're trying to ask.
Well, what I'm trying to ask is if you'd be okay with doing that, because in the NBA, that'd be you. Not sure?
What do you mean I'm not sure?
If you're not sure if you'd want to do that. Oh, for real?
Thank you.
LeBron, that's what we're doing? This is what we're doing? Yeah? Jordan's the GOAT. Kiss my ass. You laughing, Stan? This is fun.
I'm laughing with you, man.
Yeah, whatever. This seems just as good a time as ever to talk about you, my friend. Yeah. You know who you are. Usain Bolt. I've been chasing you for years, man, on the track and now off. And I need to talk to you about a bunch of things, but now, in particular, I want to talk to you about this. I've missed tests. Maybe not 3 within a 12-month period, but I mean, I wasn't tested as much as Coleman was. Rules are rules. I get that. He broke the rules. Hopefully, moving forward, Christian Coleman could do his part in contributing to the rules being modified. But can we get to the point where there's like some sort of tiered system where the athletes at a certain level are all getting tested the same amount for consistency's sake and not just based on discretion? A phone call or a text when the testers get to the location and the athlete isn't there. Hello, Anson, we're here. You're not. You have 20 minutes remaining in your hour window to get to your location. If the athletes can't do that, then hey, you missed the test. You can't say an athlete's dirty unless you take the test. So testers, take the test. I mean, are we trying to test people? Or are we trying to catch people? Respect for joining me. Can't wait to see your comments and suggestions for future episodes. We have just finished Tracking the Field, episode number 1. I'm Anson Henry, and hey, life is a race. Focus on your lane, relax. Peace. Cold, cold world, man.